Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 5 Minutes Podcast. Today, I like to talk about ESG, but I would like to talk more about the G. As you know, ESG stands for Environmental, Social, and Governance. And this topic is at the heart and the center of absolutely all organizations, from small size to large size. And I don't want to talk today about the E and the S, but I want to concentrate on the G. And I want to concentrate this on the project environment. So what is project governance? Project governance is the model and the structure used by your organization to oversight project activities. And what is this oversight? Is to evaluate results, measure results, and mostly take decisions. Remember that, take decisions. One of the key aspects of project governance is the structure and the model and the people that are able to make decisions about the project. And if you ask me, what is the top characteristics of a fantastic governance model? I would say, be able to decide. And you may ask me, Ricardo, but this is so obvious. Governance is to decide. But honestly, I have seen so many, and when I say so many, it's a lot of governance models that do not decide. When things become serious, this board or this governing board is not able to decide. They need to scale to the CEO of the company, or to the very senior executives, and they are the ones who decide. And why this is wrong? Because one of the key aspects of the project success is the ability that this governing body has to make the right decisions and to have the empowerment to make these decisions. If everything must go to your CEO for decision, so my suggestion, you need to put the CEO on all governing boards of all projects. Because if this decision-making authority is not delegated to the governing board of the project, why do you have the governing board? Just to act as an initial filter? This would be a very expensive filter. And one aspect that is important, several methods, they call these governing boards with different terms. For example, Prince2 used to call this the project board. That includes the executive, the project manager, representatives of the client, and the supplier. And this board decides on the project. On the PMBOK, the project manager has, I would say, a perceived more authority, and he or she, together with the sponsor and probably other people, can create a committee that is usually called Change Control Board, or CCB. Okay? I don't care too much about these acronyms, but just to give you some names of this governance. And when you use agile, many people may say, no, then we don't have a governance. The answer is yes, you have a governance. And what is the governing board? It's the team. Because, for example, when you get the Scrum Master with, I would say, the team and everybody, all these group, they made decisions together. So they are the governing board. That squad is the governing board. And it's the team. Because on that structure, the team and the governing board, they act at the same level. And this is what we used to call that SDWT, self-directed work team. It's a team that do not need strong supervision to work and decide. But when I said these three examples, from Prince to Agile, what I want to say is that no one size fits all. If you have a simple, small project, maybe your governing board is just a project manager, or your governing board is the 2 people or 2 team members or 3 team members, but you have a governing board. On the other side, if you have a multi-billion-dollar project, very complex, you need to have a very senior governing board to make the right. It's like a company. The company has the board, and this board must be able to decide on behalf of that company. For example, if it's a public traded company. And what I want you to understand that It's not because you have a more structured project board in mega projects, in this very large project environment, that you are becoming bureaucratic. No, bureaucracy is different. Bureaucracy is when you create layers of paperwork, layers of decisions that do not benefit the overall outcome. They just add the burn of the workload that you need to make. So always think about that. So every time now, for example, when you stop listening this podcast, please take a look in your project and see, is my governance working? Do I have the right size and the right empowerment to make the best decisions on the best interest of that specific project? If not, you need to act now, because one of the key reasons of failure is exactly the lack of governance. The understanding of the decisions you need to make, and sometimes you need to make it in a lightning speed. Think about that and see you next week with another 5 Minutes podcast.